What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Poolside Chat. Back in June, I did a live stream with none other than Lil Chris, and we actually went over a couple different matches, but this first one, I want to chop out and make it its own video. It is an APA 9-ball match, and it's actually the very first match I had when I went up to a skill level 9. I don't believe it. I still don't think I should be a 9, but for some reason I am. But there's no better way to commentate, kind of break down the match than with Chris himself, the guy who's really helped me quite a bit over the last year with my game. So, you know what? There's a lot of really good information in here. You guys are going to want to take notes. Going to want to stay to the end. We even answer a couple questions, if I remember correct, from the live stream. So you guys want to stick around. And while you're at it, don't forget to like this. Don't forget to like the video. But for now, let's get into some APA 9-ball. So here we go. Let's jump into my very first match of APA 9-ball. I forgot I actually put that. Yeah, she actually plays with my buddy James, but she just wanted to stand there. She was waiting for a timeout. So yeah, my very first match is a 9. I just move up and I get to play my buddy. He basically froze the lag, so that was good. So for anybody that doesn't play APA, you're probably not watching the stream, but if you do, you watch this video, it is 1 ball is 1 point, the 9 balls were 2, and then you also win the rack, or win the next break, and it is win or break. James was struggling on his breaks this match, so just point that out. He was so he did get a dry break. I'm just gonna follow this forward. I knew I was gonna crash into the 7, just forward enough to be able to see the 2, leave myself an angle. Obviously, if you have something, Chris, pipe in, I can pause. Yep. But had just enough angle to stun out. If I remember correct, I'm going to go just forward, come off 1 rail to see the 4 to would be the bottom right corner.
Nice shot. A little friendly bump on the 5 there.
Very friendly bump. Just because where it's at. I'm going to try to stun to this left long rail. Bring it back out to about the center. Nope. Take that back. I'm going to hold it. Which I think probably would be the better shot. Because now I can just basically do a stop. A little bit of a slide. But just hold it there for the 6 on the bottom right. Now this should just be straight top, bring it straight right back out and right about where the 6 is now, so I can take the 8 to the top right.
This is looking good.
And this should just be a slow roll. To hold. Pretty okay, pretty decent start.
I would say so.
So now we're back to an even race. So I'm okay with that. Let's see how I break here. I had a lot of see that tip rise on that though.
That's all well and good. Can we go back to the break?
Sure.
This is where I can try to like pitch in some stuff here. So pause it here. So I talk a lot about the break for lots of different videos. APA, template, triangle rack, like it really doesn't matter. Template racks are a completely different story though than triangle racks, because template racks are a little bit more consistent,
right?
As far as the spreads are concerned. So I at least want to give this little tidbit here. Go ahead and allow the break to play. And let's watch that 1 ball. You see how you almost made the 1 ball in the side pocket? Go ahead and pause the video again. So it is of my opinion that for APA 9-ball, We can't guarantee we can't have a high probability of making whatever wing ball from whatever side that you're breaking from because it's a triangle rack.
Right.
If it was a template rack, then that would most likely be the ball that you're going to be going for.
Right.
Is going to be the wing ball. So it's of my opinion that the one ball should be your targeted ball that you're going to try to make just to be able to try to establish some control of the table right off of the break.
Okay.
So we saw how, go ahead and replay the break again. We saw how your one ball missed high from the side pocket, and your cue ball, actually, you drew it rather nicely. So this is where it's still kind of unpredictable. But whenever the whenever the one ball misses high on the side pocket, that usually indicates that you cut your break a little too much. Whereas if you hit,
would that be a cut to the left or to the right of center?
It'll be a cut. It'll be a cut to the left of center from the angle that you're breaking from.
Okay.
Versus if from where you're breaking from, if you actually hit the one ball a little thick or kind of head on, then the one ball will go below the side pocket. And everything that I'm speaking right now actually is more related to a template rack. If you're using a template rack and you watch the one ball, that's what that means. And there's that nice little sweet spot where you can make the one ball in the side pocket.
Okay.
Here, you happen to hit that one ball fairly flat because you were able to draw the cue ball below your side pocket. So normally I would think that if you actually cut the one ball thin enough, your cue ball would hit the left side rail above the side pocket. So that didn't happen here. And people might wonder, well, why did that happen after everything that I'm saying? Because it's a triangle rack.
Right.
I mean, that's always going to be the biggest difference there. So I would say though, if you want to try to increase the probabilities of you trying to make that one ball into the side pocket, I would advise that you scoot your cue ball a little bit closer to the rail and kind of break off of the rail instead of breaking with your bridge hand on the table. Get as much angle as you can and then still try to find that sweet cut spot, because even though you're closer to the rail and you're naturally going to be hitting more of the one ball on its left side from the direct middle, you still kind of want to do a cut. I hope that makes sense.
So you're saying from where it's at here, bring the cue ball closer to the side rail?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, because once you're on the side rail, though, you don't want to do a head-on break. You still want to do a cut. Yeah. And you're just going to have to, based on, you have to do some quick adjustments based on how the rack is behaving by whatever opponent that's giving you that rack.
Right.
So if you watch, in this case here, since the one ball still missed high, that tells me that you're supposed to actually break a little bit thicker than what you did, but we're not guaranteed. Are you going to get the same gaps that you might have gotten in this one here? Sure. So if we go on to the next rack after this, you break again. Let's just pay closer attention to that one ball, but because I'm willing to bet we're going to see that one ball come near the side pocket a lot on the breaks.
Just want to point out Megan, who was in the very beginning, is in the chat. So she just had to comment that still shot though. Yeah, just you standing there, Meg. But
you're famous now. You're famous.
Right. We're gonna put you on the internet, let everybody see you. Just stand there. All right. So let's look at this break again. But like I said, just the first thing I noticed, the way when I hit, my tip was still inches above the felt. Like almost looked like I was trying to sweep through.
Mm-hmm. This is where I make the comment of that you should be breaking like you're shooting. Yeah. The difference being though is that when you're breaking, there's usually going to be so much power in your break that extra body mechanics start to come into play. Right. It would just be of my opinion that just treat it like it's a shot. You're just trying to shoot firm, not hard.
Makes sense. Ooh, we got a hook on that one. Ooh, okay. I almost scratched with it too. Unfortunately, that four ball got right in the way of the bank.
I got a little nugget that I can give here. Let's see what you do though. Okay, so far so good. I'll just leave it at that. Let's see what you do with this. Oh, you're a little scared. Okay. let's go back to that 3-7 combo that you played. I actually thought you were going to be going for the 9-ball instead of the 3-7 combo. Okay. So this is a shot that actually came up. I remember the last time we did a collab. Mm-hmm. I think it was against your buddy John. Yeah. And he played a shot to where he undercut the ball, but then knocked in another ball. Yeah. So I'm kind of recapping this, and that is like, how could we make this 9-ball without doing a combo? Because the combo, like we saw you hit the 3-7 combo pretty well, but the 3-9 combo is harder. Yes. Because you have to cut that 3-ball a whole lot thinner. So what about if we attempt to use the cue ball to do that? And there's actually
off the 3 to go at the 9.
Correct. Oh, actually, it's a billiard.
You did that to me last time. Dang it! I have not learned.
I got called on it too, but I mean, the words are interchangeable. But billiard is supposed to be meant for when the cue ball comes off of an object ball, and a carom is when an object ball comes off of an object ball. And I think the sticklers that actually stick to that is because of the game billiards, right? When you're actually where there's no pockets on the table, and that's where there's the difference. But the system that I want to highlight here again is how to accurately roll the cue ball for a billiard to play a second ball. And that is this. If you were to pretend the 3-ball was a cue ball, and you were to get behind it and you want to shoot at the 9-ball. Okay. From behind the 3-ball, visualizing your cue like you're going to hit it, you now have a line that goes into the 3-ball, which is your cue, right? Okay. If you were to extend that line, you would be able to see the line coming out of the 3-ball, basically the shot line of the 3-ball going to the 9 to make the combo. So I know we can't draw on this, but if hopefully everybody understands what I'm talking about, we have a line going into the 3-ball, which is the cue. If you were to pretend that the 3-ball was the cue ball, and then if you extend the shot line to the 3-9 combo, there's a line coming out of the 3-ball. If you were to aim your cue ball at the line that is coming out of the 3-ball and just gently roll your cue ball, you will more than likely billiard towards that 9. I'm not saying you're guaranteed to make it, right, but you're more than likely going to hit a billiard. And so you have to be careful when it comes to how hard or how soft, because if anybody's familiar with cut shots, whenever you have a top spin or a bottom spin shot on cut shots, the harder you hit the ball, the further the cue ball goes down the tangent line before the top spin or the bottom spin take effect. Right. So I mentioned a rolling cue ball, which is basically a top spinning cue ball. Yeah. So if you don't judge the pace right, you can still miss the 9-ball completely altogether. Right. But you will have a high probability of actually hitting the billiard to where you can possibly end the rack here soon. And actually, after you played the 3-7 combo, I thought you could have actually tried the 3-9 billiard. I could have played the billiard there, yeah. And yeah, but I guarantee you this: after the stream's over, go try it on your table.
Oh, I will.
Set up a shot like what I'm talking about, and like I said, visual or go to the first object ball and pretend you're just going to shoot that ball into whatever ball that you want to billiard into, and then like I said, aim your cue ball to wherever your shot line exits the first object ball, and then just try to gently roll the cue ball to that spot. Now, you might not be able to see the spot because it might be on the other side of the ball from which your cue ball, from behind the cue ball, you can't see it, but you could still aim at it. You can basically, that's like saying that you can't aim directly at the diamond that's on the rail. You just aim through the rail is what I'm talking about.
That makes sense.
So, but give that a try. You'll actually see more times than not that shots like that are going to come up a lot. Yeah. Where you can play a rolling billiard shot rather than trying to make sure that you go across the tangent line perfectly and other kinds of stuff. But definitely wanted to put that in there because I know we talked about it last time. Okay. Yeah. No, that's I'm definitely going to try that because I'm curious. Just like I understand what you're saying, but I want to see it in action. That's very interesting. But no, I mean, and
My buddy, looks like my buddy Mike is in the chat here too, Honads, and he loves combos. He knows I hate them, so I try not to play them unless I have to. So I think right here my main thought was I don't have a great shot, so let's just play a safety and try, which I underhit it. I need to get a little bit more to the left on the 9-ball, but I was just trying to hold him down from getting any points and just try to make as large of a run early as I can, you know, because he's an 8. He's a hell of a shot. I mean, him and I are very, very similar. If not, I still say he's a hair better than me, but I'm like, I can't let him get in stroke. So that was kind of my mindset. Unfortunately, I left him an easy 3, so he got there. And now...
Ooh, undercuts the 5-ball.
Little undercut. Same thing. I was trying to hide it.
Yep.
It's really tough because I was a lot farther away than I think, because you almost need to stun with the right kind of speed, and that's a very tough shot. So
yeah, playing a safety is just as difficult as playing a shot.
Yeah. He had a good roll on that one. Should be a pretty simple
fan. Yeah, I'm not really a fan of the position that he got here, because look what he has to do.
Yeah.
Now this is a 7-foot table, so like it's not really that big of a deal. A long shot is not really a long shot,
right?
On a 7-foot table. But I say that because I would much rather watch players not have to power draw shots, especially on a 7-foot table.
Yeah.
Ooh, dry break. Are you going to capitalize on this one too?
I need to, because I mean, he got 9-1 on that last track, so he almost brought it back even. Go ahead and just try to use this entire wall, but
I like it.
Unfortunately, it looks like I left him that perfect avenue. I don't know. Maybe the 6 is in the way. Okay, he is kicking. Ooh, it looked like he put a little bit left spin on that one.
That was a nice try. Okay, pause. This is why Todd has me on here, because the advice that I gave him last time we were talking just before we went live, he's doing some of it, but he's not doing all of it. So actually back up a little bit to where you started glancing at the 2-ball.
Went just a hair far. Just watch us kick again. I mean, he couldn't have missed that any more narrow if he wanted to. That was close.
I actually had a similar shot at League the other night where I did the same exact thing, where somehow I magically went completely behind the ball without touching it. So pause right there. So there's 2 ways of looking at this, and I will start with the classic thinking 3 balls ahead.
Sure.
In my opinion here, this is only 2 balls ahead, right? You're looking at the 1 to the 2, and that's it. So my guess is that once you get on the 2, then you're going to look at the 3. Would that be correct?
I think my initial thought was I was planning I'm going to have to draw off the 2 to see the 3. Now, where I went wrong is I didn't take the time to walk to that right side of the table to see where is that line. Where do I need to get to even see the 3? So I didn't follow the full path and walk around.
So that's kind of my point. It's good that you're thinking about how are you going to play position from the 1 to the 2, but what difference is that going to make if you're going to shoot the 1 in, because you have ball in hand? Sure. The likelihood of you missing is very low. But then you get position on the 2, and then by the time you get to the 2, you might say to yourself, "Oh crap! Like what do I got to do to get on that 3? Do I have to do a power draw shot? Like, do I have to just unleash something? Versus taking the time to really try to figure out how exactly do you want to go from the 2 to the 3. Now, in this particular layout, I do agree with you. It does look like you're going to have to draw. So does that mean you're going to try to land perfectly flat to where we could overdraw the 2 ball, right? Because we have to make sure that we pass that 6 ball.
Right.
Do we want to try to maybe draw and kind of bump off of the 4? So that way we kind of dribble over towards the 7. So that way we know the 6 will not be in our way. That's a little bit more forward thinking to get at least 3 balls ahead. So I at least want to point that out here, since I'm just judging off of the demeanor of what I'm seeing you do on the table versus not even knowing what's going on in your head, right? So where what I like to advise my teammates and stuff, I say, show me on the camera, like physically plan it all out so I can see that you're doing it for numerous reasons. One, for yourself, because if you actually execute everything that you plan, that's a huge confidence booster.
Yeah.
2, if your opponent sees you going through all this stuff and you're hitting all this stuff, that's an intimidation factor.
True.
Right. So you got 2 mental portions of the game. One that benefits you, and another one that doesn't benefit your opponent. And the one that doesn't benefit your opponent also benefits you.
Yeah. No, that's a good.
So just something to think about.
No, and truth be told, this match was over 2 months, probably close to 3 months ago now. So I can't tell you what I was thinking. I can only tell you the way I see it now, which, as you know, in your own commentary, you can say what you should be doing. I don't, this wasn't close enough that I can tell you, oh, I remember I was trying to XYZ. So that was not the case. Now,
but let's see how you go from the 1 to the 2, what you actually land in, and then see how you have to play from the 2 to the 3. Because I can see you gave yourself an angle where you're going to come off the short rail, bounce towards the middle of the table, right?
See, and even there I hit it wrong because I wanted to be a little bit more on the right side of the tangent line, just a hair closer to the 8. So the draw, you don't have to rip as much draw, I would think.
So we have to put a bottom spin shot on here. So I'm just curious. You actually hit it really well. You hit it really freaking well.
Thank you. Yeah, I didn't overdraw it. Left myself a good angle. I'm not over the 7. That's about as good of an outcome.
Okay, so far so good. Okay, nice rolling shot there.
Yeah, that's one thing I have absolutely taken on from our last stream, is just rolling balls.
That's another nice rolling shot. Look, you got another one. You might kind of stun this off of the side rail and back out, so that way you can play the 7 in the lower left. You could roll it as well. It's just that the cue ball will go more towards the rack area.
Yeah.
You kind of hit that a little firm.
I don't know why I hit that so darn hard.
Yeah, because now bridged over this 9 ball, this makes this a little difficult. I definitely wouldn't have recommended hitting it as hard as you did.
No, I don't know why I smashed that so much. That should have been half that, but...
Oh, but well executed.
Lucky.
Actually put yourself in a really good spot where you can just roll this one again.
Yep. You said overroll?
Bit of an overroll.
Yeah, a little overroll.
Little overroll. That's okay. I think I would still probably just try to cut this, though.
Yeah. A little bit of a TV timeout for the Zamboni. The problem is that's real close to a scratch shot on the side. Just a little bit of a draw just to get it around that side.
Nicely done.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so again, let's just watch that 1 ball. Let's see if you do a similar break and how close does that 1 ball come to the side pocket.
Okay.
Like I said, the only variable we can't control is the gaps that are in the rack. But there's a problem. Your cue ball goes in a completely different direction than what you have. But you did get a 9 on the break. So it's not like I want to be too critical about what happened here, but we have an inconsistency, and this is
Yes.
something I see this is something I see very common when it comes to breaking in general. Is 1 minute your cue ball comes straight back, the next minute your cue ball goes to the left of the rack, the next minute your cue ball goes to the right of the rack, etc., etc.
Guilty.
If you want to build consistency in your break, it doesn't matter if it's 9 ball, 8 ball, 10 ball. I mean, it just doesn't matter. The advice would be is imagine if the head ball, the 1 ball in this case, is the only ball on the table. And regardless of wherever you're breaking from, if you were to shoot straight through the 1 ball or 0 degrees straight at the 1 ball, you should be able to project where that 1 ball would hit on the rail.
Okay.
Now, so in this case, you're coming somewhere like just past the middle diamond. If you were to hit straight from the angle that you're currently at, you'd be somewhere just to the right of the middle diamond of the foot rail.
Okay, I'm following you.
But we're wanting to cut that 1 ball so that way we can get it to go towards that corner pocket, or I'm sorry, go towards the side pocket.
Right.
So therefore, you should be able to start cutting it to where the 1 ball would basically start getting closer and closer to the top right corner pocket. So if you want to have a consistent break, pick a spot to shoot that 1 ball towards that rail. And heck, sometimes it might be, hey, let me imagine that I'm going to try to cut the 1 ball into the top right corner pocket.
Right. Yeah.
And that's what you're going to aim at. So that way you're consistently trying to deliver the cue ball to the 1 ball so that the 1 ball goes to a specific spot as if it was the only ball on the table. Because if you're doing that, there's no way your cue ball should be going to the right, because that just means your aiming is just way freaking off. When you're doing that. If anything, we should see your cue ball go to the left, sometimes a little inconsistent. Sometimes you might cut too much, sometimes you might be right on, but your cue ball should consistently go to the left if you're attempting to do that. Now, again, after you find that aiming spot that you're going to be trying to go for, when you're just toggling the power, are you accidentally causing the cue ball to squirt?
Right.
You know, are you shifting at the wrong time, and that totally moves your alignment completely off? Like those are all possibilities.
Yeah.
But if what I just described is something that you're currently not doing, you might want to give it a try just to be able to increase the consistency of your break. So that way your cue ball's not going all over the place.
No, that's actually that's an extremely good point. I'm gonna have to keep that in mind going forward, especially considering we're doing 9 ball right now, and tomorrow morning I've got 9 ball world qualifiers starting for APA. So
well, there you go. Like I said, we're gonna keep watching. Every time you break, we just want to watch that 1 ball, and then of course watch your cue ball to kind of bring my point home to see how consistent you are with the break.
Yeah, like that one I flat hit to the right.
But you get a 9 on the break, so I mean it's not like
it's not all for nothing, but
yeah.
Which, hey, mini slam, right? 23 points. I already got a mini.
So let's watch it again. Looks like as you're giving a timeout to somebody.
Yeah.
So are you going to hit flat, to the left, to the right? What are you going to do this time?
Flat.
See, that time it's flat. But where's the 1 ball?
Gone. And
right into
2 ball too.
Right into the side pocket, like I talked about.
It did, yeah. I mean, I hit that pretty full too.
Now, based on what I just said, though, especially in regards to aiming the break, you might want to go ahead and toy with it without moving your cue ball. I already talked earlier about moving your cue ball to the closer to the rail.
Yeah.
You could try just aiming your break a little bit better from your original spot, and then if it starts to still become a little too inconsistent, then just like I said, just scoot your cue ball closer to the side rail.
And I mean, and as well as anybody, pool can be played 1,000 different ways by 1,000 different people, and everybody's got their own theories, and yours is wrong because mine's right. I get that. But I've got a lot of people that are telling me, yes, sometimes when the rack can't get tight, move closer to the outside. When you do have a table that gets tighter, move closer to the inside. Because I used to break on the head string 1 diamond from the left side. So up to left, right, 1 diamond to the right from the left rail. I'm now shifting where I'm even a little bit more inside. Like basically, if you take your cue dead center of the spot and put the butt of the cue through that first left diamond, that's where I put the cue ball on the head string in that line.
That's the you're breaking from the corner of the break box.
The break box, exactly. I figured I would explain that a little bit to anybody that doesn't watch more professional pool. So let's. So yeah, I mean, I dropped the 1 ball clean. Unfortunately, the 2 ball also went.
Yep, and you have no shot at the 3 ball. There's no push outs.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and even more unsettling is there's no push in APA 9. But
but what a hit, dude!
that was a good little 2-rail kick.
Nicely done.
Thank you. I don't know how I pulled that out, but I like it. Unfortunately, I think I left him the edge of the 3 so he can make that in the side. Oh, never mind. No, he can't.
Want to say, yep, definitely was a fluke there as he puts his hand up in apology. You can't say APA in this one. This is 9 ball.
No, this is a 9 ball.
Shots. Luck shots happen. So
he played the billiard. Took the.
Look how he played the billiard. Yep, that's the same billiard shot that I just talked about in your previous round.
Yep.
Let's watch this gentleman's break.
A lot of top, very
looks
full.
like it was the head ball looks like it was the 4 ball. Can you play the break again?
Yeah, I'm going to.
And he misses high from the side pocket.
He looks like he's roughly the outside of the break box, like closer to the. Yeah, the 4 ball went
lots
low.
of top spin.
Yeah, he definitely had a ton of top. Oh man, we got a Goji Tan. Good morning from Hanoi.
Hey, thanks for stopping by the stream.
Thank you
by the
so
way,
much.
people, if you're watching, don't forget to give the stream a thumbs up.
Yes,
I'm pretty
please.
sure Todd would really appreciate that.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. And if you haven't subscribed, what's wrong with you? Hit the subscribe, hit the bell. Give me all that good stuff, as I say. No, that's awesome, man. Hanoi? That's fantastic. All right, here comes my my good buddy Adam.
So this would just be some advice even for your opponent, though. Like I said, we commented how he broke fairly well, but with a lot of topspin. That looked like a foul. But he loses his cue ball to the rack end of the table. Generally speaking, we don't even want that, regardless of what our break style would be. We would basically like to be somewhere near the middle of the table, which I want to guess. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt and say maybe he was trying to do like a pop break, squat the cue ball, and he just happened to hit just a little too high.
Yeah,
I'd
say a lot high because that thing ripped forward.
Yeah.
So I already kind of have a. Well, I don't know. Let's just see how this plays out. I'm definitely feeling comfortable and confident that I'm just going to go ahead and start with a draw shot.
It's ball in hand. I don't really consider to be a problem with that.
I still would want a little bit more angle, unless I can get because I want this off the rail more for the 6. Because now, to stun this, I got to put a little bit of stank on it to get it slide out for that 7. Because I mean, I hit that pretty hard, and I get a diamond.
Mm-hmm. Does the 7 go on the side at least?
I'm gonna assume yes by that speed.
It does.
Okay.
Nicely done.
Looks like I'm going top, going off the head rail. Tried to go around it.
Isn't an issue here. I think you should be able to cut that in with a rolling ball.
Yeah, a rolling ball should be fine. Not too shabby.
Done.
Not too shabby. Slim, I'm from South Dakota. What else more can be wrong with me? Man, ain't nothing wrong with you. You live in South Dakota. Sure, there's like 7 people that live up there, but the country is beautiful. Beautiful countryside. All right, let's.
Yeah, you really tried to rip into this one.
Yeah, I did.
And that time your your one ball missed low.
Yeah.
But still, so far every break we watch that one ball go towards that side pocket. That kind of proves my point.
Yeah.
Again, I completely understand that we can't, even if you were to make it like you did earlier with a fairly flat break, actually, it doesn't mean that you're going to do it again, because again, we can't predict the gaps
Right.
that are going to be in the rack. So some people might argue, well, what's basically the point? Well, again, we only want to do things that we are in full control of. So, and that's going to be how you break. And so that's why I'm talking about aiming your break, trying to, consistently send that one ball to a specific spot on the foot rail as if it was the only ball on the table, because you're in control of that. You're not in control of the rack, especially since it's a triangle rack. So
yeah,
there's no point in trying to, let me break this way this time, let me break this way next, because it just becomes complete guessing at that point, which I don't think serves to your benefit.
Makes sense.
Okay, good safety here.
Definitely got lucky with that 8-ball becoming big. Good kick, and unfortunately,
nice open table.
He didn't return the safe.
Nice open table here. Hopefully, you can see a run out from here. What are you looking around? Did you miscue?
I miscued it bad.
I like how you looked. You looked around like, did anybody see that? Like, that was great. That was great.
I don't even know how I miscued that so bad, but I think I was trying to hit top left, and it just, like, the way it squirt off of it.
That is great. That is great. Oh, the things that happen in pool that make us laugh.
Yeah, and I'm the first to laugh at myself, because why not? Can't laugh at others if you can't laugh at yourself.
Exactly. All right, so let's see if your opponent can run this out, because there's not really an issue on the table.
Cue ball control sometimes. Well, we've all seen it now. Hey, if you watch any of my videos, you'll know I share all my mistakes. I mock them. I'm human, and I'm a good mid-level player. I'm gonna make plenty of mistakes. I think you want to draw back a little more on that, but should be fine.
I wonder if he's going to go side to side on this one, or if it's thick enough to where he can stay there. No, see, he tries to go side to side.
Yep.
Going to get a lucky safety out of it, though.
All right. That's 9-ball for you.
Definitely got to make a hit here. 8-ball sitting in the middle of the table, ball in hand, pretty much is going to end the rack.
Yeah.
Oh, nice double the distance measuring here.
Skinned it.
Ooh, nice hit. Nice hit.
Still sold out, but skinned it. It's not ball in hand.
That's it's better than ball in hand.
Oh, is he gonna get the fluke? Nope. So you can tell at this point he's already mentally kind of given up.
This early? Are you serious?
Yes.
Okay.
James doesn't miss those kind of shots, and just his demeanor when the way he chunked that and just kind of walked it off like that. Yeah, he was kind of mentally given up already. I don't know if he thought I was farther ahead or what, but
I get it though. We've all been there when we mentally check out of the game. We start entering into what's referred to as give up stroke.
yeah. I don't think I actually have that because I never really just give up. I still try, and I just mentally tell myself, well, you're just out of stroke. You're just not shooting well. Like, we all have those days. We all shoot bad at times. But no matter what, I'm putting my fists up and I'm ready to fight, you know? So.
No, for sure.
Hey, all right, so we need to go back. Let's watch this break one more time. Let's see. That one went low.
And typically, like, this is really the break that you would really want. You make a ball on the break, that one ball can park itself like there. Like, again, I'm speaking from a template rack perspective. Like, this was almost a template rack break.
Yeah.
It's just that you didn't make the left wing ball. Another ball got lucked in from getting kicked around. But like, this is definitely a strong spot to be in.
Got a little flat on this one, so.
Well, so let's go back to the one ball, because I've got another little nugget for you to think about. All the way back to the one ball. Okay, so this is something that I learned from my coach, especially when it comes to playing rotation games versus playing 8-ball. And that is, I gave it a name. I call it tip position priority. And what that means is we're going to start with a top spin or a rolling cue ball, basically. So just top spin, some form of top spin.
Okay.
The question you ask yourself is, can I shoot the ball with a rolling cue ball / top spin and get position on the next ball to where I can shoot the next ball with some form of top spin?
Okay.
If the answer's no, well then can I add some sort of side spin? So now we're a rolling cue ball with side spin and get position. If the answer to that question is no, then our tip position starts to move down. So you've already heard me talk about how, like, I want you to try to figure out how to roll your cue ball as much as possible. This goes in line with the tip position priority, because now we can't roll the cue ball, nor can we roll the cue ball with side spin in order to get position on the next ball to where we can roll the cue ball. So now we're coming down towards the middle of the cue ball to where we're kind of stunning our cue ball or stopping our cue ball. And can we stop or stun our cue ball to where our next shot we can roll? If the answer is no, then can we add side spin? And if the answer is no again, now we're coming down and now we're drawing the cue ball. Can we draw the cue ball in order to get a rolling cue ball on the next shot? And if the answer is no, can we draw with some form of side spin? The idea is that we want to try to use draw less and less. We're not eliminating it. We just want to use it less and less. And parts of what we've seen on this match already kind of prove my point. Draw, though fun, is difficult. I don't care what your skill level is, but rolling the cue ball, that's rather simple. And
definitely more controllable with rolling.
Bingo, more controllable. We can still, like, you know, someone will argue all day long, well, if I just get better at my draw shots, well, of course, if you get better at anything, like, it defeats the thing. But here's the thing, though. You will get better quicker when you can control rolling shots than you will draw shots. You still need to have them, because when you're trying to play position, sometimes you're not going to get the position. Sometimes you might play a rolling cue ball to try to get to a rolling shot, but you end up falling into a stunning or a drawing shot. Sometimes your opponent's going to miss, and they're going to put you in a position where you have to stun or draw your cue ball, etc., etc. I say all of that because let's look at your opening shot. It's fairly obvious that we have to stop or even draw the cue ball. Like I said, it's not avoidable. We're just going to try to limit what we do. So let's shoot the one ball. Let's go ahead and shoot the one ball.
So let me add to the commentary on that, because I was actually just having a conversation with my buddy John, who we went on the review last time, and he's a 465 Fargo. He wants to become an APA 7. He's a 6. He wants to get to a 500 Fargo. Like, he's actively trying to do that. And I'm like, okay, you tell me, what aspect of your game do you need to work on that's going to get you to that next level? And he thought about it, and he called me the other day, and he goes, I think the thing I struggle with are bank shots. And I said,
that's not it.
No,
that's not it.
I said, I go, the thing is, if you get, and I hope Alicia is still on this, because this is going to go to her too, Miss I Love to Bank. If you require, if your game requires having a very good bank shot, that tells me that your patterns or your cue ball control are way off. Because in a decent run, let alone a great run, a decent run, you should never bank. You should have some kind of control that everything's a cut, and then it's just a rolling or, you know, whatever from there. But yeah, anyway, that was just a little side tangent that I had that conversation just 2 nights ago with John. So
no, I do agree with you. So here on this one ball, like I said, we're gonna stop, draw back a little bit to try to have some sort of position on the 2. I could see that a stop shot is less than ideal, because now if we try to roll the cue ball, we're possibly going to run into the 9 ball, and that's not even going to give us anywhere near the position that we want to have on the to go from the 2 to the 3. So it would be ideal if we can actually draw the cue ball back to where we can roll the 2 ball in, have the cue ball come to the head rail, and then bounce back out for the 3 ball. That would be ideal. But I don't think that's what happened on this one here. I thought your next shot was fairly
saying
flat
basically
as well.
Try to get the cue ball somewhere like up here.
Yes, exactly.
So that way it's a natural roll to bring the cue ball off and then bring it back here.
Yes,
that makes sense.
And that illustration that you just did probably meant you'd have a hint of left spin on the ball, like I said, because can a rolling cue ball do it for you? The answer is no. Well, then we add a rolling cue ball with a touch of left spin, and that would give you the position that you want. So let's go from here. Let's go from the 1 to the 2. All right, like I said, bottom spin shot, unavoidable as far as I'm concerned. If we want to try to run this table out, we get to the rail. So that's actually good that we got to the rail. It's just that we're flat on the 2 ball. Now, here's the problem. Stop here. Because remember, where do we want to be so that we can roll the 3 ball? In other words, when I look at this shot, if you were to just stop the cue ball, you would actually have some form of a rolling shot, because you can just roll the 3 ball down. We know the cue ball is going to hit the side rail and then start working its way towards the rack area, but that's going to give you a shot on the 4 ball to the bottom right corner pocket. So that way, hopefully from there, you can just start rolling again. But as far as I can tell, there wasn't enough planning from here. It's let me go ahead and draw the cue ball again. And we end up overdrawing it. So go ahead and play. So we did 1 draw shot so far. We did 2 draw shots, and now we're at a nice flat angle. We have to do 3 draw shots. What happens after this?
This was just a rolling shot because, well, right here, at least I'm stepping aside to see, does the 4 ball sneak by the 7? Because if it does, yes, you could just, stun run through on the 3 just to give yourself a somewhat straight shot on the 4.
Okay, so that was kind of a middle ball hit. We haven't rolled the ball yet.
No.
And that one that's just a miss. So the point that I want to make here is, because I know there might be someone that's watching this. Well, what's the big deal if you make all of your shots? And I mean, there isn't. If you make all of your shots, I mean, I get it. But what I will challenge you is look at how much effort you're putting in to make all of those shots. That's where you would see the signs of improvement. When you're having to make all of these intermediate shots, and if you're making all these intermediate shots, that's great and wonderful. I would personally rather see you make an intermediate shot or a hard shot and your next one be easy or at least easier. And then that way, all the subsequent shots that follow after are also easier as well. We don't want to sit there and make one hard shot after another, because then that's when our cue ball control starts to spiral out of control. And eventually you're going to miss. So that's really the point. That's really the point of the tip position priority. And like I said, it deals more towards with rotational games, because when you're playing 8-ball, we do want to try to limit the movement of our cue ball. Sometimes in 8-ball, we're going to have those patterns to where, we're going to play a 9-ball like type movement. But a
Right.
lot of times when you got a nice wide open table, you kind of want to just like stop your cue ball, stun your cue ball, stop your cue ball, and so on and so forth. So that way the pattern is so much easier. But in nine
Right.
ball, that's less than ideal. Very rarely will you ever get a layout in nine ball where you can just stop, 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 stop. They
Right.
do come up, but not very often. And in nine ball, you're going to either stop your cue ball, but a lot of times you're going to move your cue ball. And that's really where the tip position priority concept comes from, to where when you're rolling the ball around, you're going to be moving the cue ball around as well. Now, like I
Sure.
said, the exception would be, well, look at this layout. All I have to do is just play a bunch of stop shots. Okay, you got one layout out of
Fair.
hundreds of layouts where you're not going to be able to do that. I get it.
Right. Right. And just to, to add to that, I mean, that's why when you watch these pros and everybody always says, oh, they make the game look so easy.
That's why.
That's why.
Like, I
That's
guarantee
exactly
that's why.
why. So, all right. So I just flat out missed. Got a lucky 9-ball roll. Left him hooked on the 4.
Oh, that would have
was
been a great kick and stick, but he
would've.
hit it with a little bit too much spin there.
Yep. You saw it just kind of spin and just barely curl out.
Yep.
And I'm assuming by the way I looked at that, the 5 does slow roll into the side.
Okay.
So I think I'm gonna stun into the 4 and use a 6 as a stopper. Yeah.
That's a great shot. That's a great shot.
And that was a
So you
gutsy shot, 'cause that was pretty thin into the side with draw.
Right. So, but do you see what's happening here? It's the same thing you did with ball in hand. One bottom spin shot after another, and you're nailing them. So I can't discredit you for that. But go back to the 5 ball. So you're hitting these shots. So like you don't lose any credit for what I'm talking about. But can you imagine if you would have just drew back just a couple of inches? Let me see. I'm gonna like indicate during the, or you can't play frame by frame, can you?
Not really, no.
Because see, like right there, if your cue ball was right there, now you can
Yes.
kind of shoot this with just a rolling, like a high outside,
Yeah.
top right spin, and the cue ball is going to hit the short rail and then come and just slowly drift its way back towards the middle of the table, where you can play the same exact shot on the 7 ball, except your 7 ball you would end up 2 railing out from the bottom right corner pocket and shoot the 9 ball into the same pocket. But
But at the same point,
go
okay.
ahead. Well, I was saying because you overdraw the 5 ball, now you have to draw the 6 ball, and then I don't remember what happened. We didn't let the 7 ball play out, but it's still to my point to where this is what, in my opinion, this is what I would like to see from you more often, is to think about this stuff and actually execute it. You could have played a stop shot here. I mean, this is a 7-foot table. I'm pretty sure even if the cue ball was the 5 ball, you could still cut that 6 ball into the corner pocket, especially if this is a valley.
It is, yeah.
This is a valley table? Yeah.
Dynamo, same difference. But I mean, and that's where we're looking at this here. While yes, the 5 goes in the side, it's kind of thin, but I mean, I do execute the draw. Another shot that I probably would have had a better outcome is shoot the 5 to the low left corner, which is like a little bit of a stun shot that just gets you out in the middle, and now you're gonna have a natural position on the 6.
Well, notice how you said stun. You could just roll it
To the corner, to the low left corner.
Not stun, because anytime you're near the center of the cue ball or lower, you have to hit harder, because so that way whatever effect you're trying to put on the cue ball can actually stay. If you're just going to roll the cue ball, you're doing what a ball naturally wants to do: roll. Like that's it. But if you want, a center cue ball means the cue ball is going to slide a little bit before it starts rolling. So if you actually want the stun effect, your cue ball has to slide into the object ball, which means you kind of have to punch the cue ball. That's going to mean more power than you're probably intending on. Versus if you just roll the ball, so that way if you try to cut the 5 ball down into the bottom left corner pocket, your cue ball will hit the side rail. Yes, it'll start drifting past the middle part of the table, and you'll be on the other side of the side pockets. But you'll be in the middle of the table. The 6 ball is completely cuttable, and you'll at least still be in a rolling position. to where
Sure.
you can hopefully the main point is what I just said. You're doing what a ball naturally wants to do anyway. Roll. Whenever you control the cue ball, well, if your skill set deems it, control the cue ball all you want. But if you want to just allow the cue ball what it naturally wants to do anyway, that's just going to make it so much easier to control.
That makes sense.
So let's watch the draw shot on the 5. Let's watch the draw shot on the 6, and then see what you do on the 7, because I know I stopped you from there.
Yeah, and I think I end up leaving myself, like I do draw, but because of the cut angle, I think I leave myself a fairly long 7, bar box long. But at least,
I always love
okay, so,
I love watching the cue ball peel out before it draws. Like that's so
I
pretty
know,
to
right?
watch.
Well, even you could tell on that one, I mean, I probably hit that about right there. Let's go back. Just because you can see the way, because it draws straight back, and then when it hits that rail, that spins
spins
through
out.
it.
Yeah.
Just to give me a little bit closer, more breathing room.
That's a rolling inside. That's a roll inside spin shot.
Too much inside, actually, because it got too close to the 9.
Exactly.
Had just enough to get it, though.
The way you just cut that 9 ball in would be the same way you could cut the 6 ball in, even if you were to just stop the cue ball on the 5 ball, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Whoa.
Nice little break there. Drew the cue ball
that
straight
one ball
back.
went
We're not going to have a shot.
And I know we're just kind of beating this point up, but look at the and I think there must have been like a dead spot in the rack, because that one ball just rolls with the 3 straight to the side rail.
Yeah, like I said, that's the unpredictable stuff that you have no control over.
Yeah.
But like I said, we are watching your cue ball do many different things on each one of your breaks. That's what you have control over.
Yeah. And I know James well enough. He's never gonna, loose rack me. So I'm not.
Yeah, like
it's just the table itself fighting.
Yeah, certainly not suggesting that you're getting bad, quote unquote, bad racks. It's a triangle rack. It's a triangle rack on a league night. And we can't predict what kind of gaps we're gonna get as you undercut that 2 ball by a lot.
Yeah. Don't get behind the 7. Okay, yeah, just enough. Unfortunately, I think the 8 ball is going to get in the game.
Ouch.
Kind of, he need to put a little bit of outside and a stroke to it.
Yeah. So go back to that to not the previous shot, but the previous shot before that. And again, this is
his 2 ball.
Yes, I'm being very nitpicky when I talk about this stuff, but I think this is important. Notice how he plays the 2 and gets position on the 3. And notice what he does here. He chalks up his cue and gets down on the 3 ball and proceeds to shoot. Now, stop it here. I'm more than certain he knows he wants to get to the rail. He knows he wants the cue ball to come back. I'm more than certain he knows all of that, and I'm pretty sure he wants to actually get on the other side of the 8 ball, so that way he can shoot the 5 ball into the top right corner pocket. I'm sure he knows all of that, and I'm pretty sure that's what he's trying to do. I am very adamant about planning so that way it should be obvious. So in other words, if he were to place this, can you take the red dot and for heaven's sakes, put it on the head string?
Put it up here?
Yeah, on the head string. Now move it over to the right. Yeah, right there. Or go back to the left a little. More. Actually, we'll say right about there. After he made the 2 ball, if he would have just came over here and just stuck his cue down onto the table, right where that red dot is, he could then look at this shot and go, how the heck do I get there?
Right.
What do I need to do to get there?
Yeah.
Not what I think he's doing. Let me shoot the cue ball like this because it's going to put me in this general region of where I think the cue ball is going to go. It's going to go in the general direction that I want it to go, and it's hopefully going to land in this general region. I'm willing to bet that's what's going through his head. Now, of course, I could be wrong.
Sure.
Like I said, I'm just very adamant when it comes to planning that if you do this type of planning, then you can say to yourself, well, how exactly am I going to get there? I can see that I'm going to hit the side rail. I'm probably going to need this much spin, and I have to hit it this hard.
Yeah.
Now let's go and execute it, and let's see if I'm right.
And that's
I think
where
just stuff like that just goes a long way versus I know I'm going to cut the ball in. I know the cue ball is going to go to the left. I know it's going to hit the side rail. I'm going to hit it this hard, and I should get position. I should get shape. Like that's generally what I see most amateur players do. Amateurs that are on the lower skill level ladder, where there's not enough detail in their planning, and because there's not enough detail in that planning, this is where they tend to fall short. And I'm guilty of it as well, even at my level, to where I know certain times I don't plan enough, or I don't meticulously go. Like I might skip a step in my pre-shot routine, and sometimes I'm okay with doing it, and then a lot of times I'm not. I'll end up falling short of whatever it is I was trying to accomplish.
So, question for you then, because I know with what experience I have and at my skill level, I know I can, like if I'm James right here, I can look at that cut angle, and if I would step around to see where do I need the cue ball to be able to get to see the 7, or see the 5 where I'm not behind the 8. And then I don't think in my head I need to put a little bit top left, about like a 10 o'clock spin. Let's hit this at a 6 speed. I kind of just let my subconscious take over, because I've hit enough balls. I know how hard, I know what kind of spin I want. I just let my let my subconscious take over.
I think what you're talking about is, what we'll call it either being in dead stroke or being in flow. You're in flow state at that point, to where it kind of just naturally rolls off. And I mean, I don't have a particular issue about that. It's just one of those things to where there are certain shots we all know and understand that we don't have to apply any thought to. Mm-hmm. And we can pretty much, hit the cue ball a certain way and repeat results over and over again. But then when you're in match situations, everything is amplified at that point. Right. To where I think it would just be good practice that you don't have to do it on every single solitary shot, but you should be doing it on more shots than not on a rack. This shot here is a very important shot. If he doesn't hit the transition, he might end up losing the rack. Right. And so because this is an important shot, more detail in the planning should be in place.
Yeah.
And actually what Fuggles me on the YouTube chat says is perfect. Having a rail target helps. So if he would have targeted somewhere on the opposite rail, he would without a doubt not be hooked behind the 8 ball. He might have a difficult back cut shot on the 5 ball, but he would without a doubt not be hooked. Is that the 8 ball or the 6 ball? I can't tell.
8 ball, I'm pretty sure.
Good kick. But I hope all of that makes sense, because like I'm very, very particular about when it comes to detailed planning. And that also goes towards a comment that a buddy of mine said to me a while back, which I've taken really to heart, is the better you get, the more specific you get. The more specific in every little thing that you actually start doing. And that goes to the details of the planning, the details of the execution. All of that becomes more and more and more and more. Because sometimes as amateurs, the like we take a skill level 2 and go, I'm just going to send the cue ball towards the ball. I don't know what's going to happen after that. But then as they get better, they start to realize, well, when I send the ball towards the ball and I hit the ball on this side, I know the ball is going to go in this direction. Like, you can gradually see how more specific details start working into their knowledge base. And so that continues to carry on as you get better and better. And so when we're 8s and 9s and Fargo 500s, Fargo 600s, Fargo 700s, it all plays the same thing. Every time you get better and better, there's something more specific that's being added to your game. And that's where my comments are coming from.
That makes sense.
That was a great shot.
Good cut. Put a little bit of ride on it, but
and we thin
not
slice
the best
this
of
one.
leaves.
A shot.
Good
This
recovery.
still works. Yep, this still works.
I just a little outside to avoid the scratch.
Nicely done.
Thank you. Not too bad. 56 to 20.
Okay, now you've leaned towards a flat break now. You've been doing a flat break more often.
Yeah. Also, safety break.
Yeah. At least in APA we can call it a safety break.
Yes. All right, not enough. Too flat in the to the head rail.
Okay, what are we gonna do here?
Too much. There we go. Over sent that one.
This is actually not bad.
Nah, that was terrible.
Yeah, that was a bit unfortunate there. I don't think I would have hit it that hard. Go back to that shot.
Yeah, because
So what I wonder about is, you take your ball, you do slightly over roll it, but then I'm still looking at the cut angle and thinking like it's an okay cut angle to have. Go ahead and play it out.
well, but even that 3 ball goes to the low right corner, so it's not like I need to break it out.
So this is what I'm wondering once you get on the 2 ball though.
Which I was trying to get underneath the tangent line, high on the tangent for a little bit more natural, but I just way overstroked this.
Right. So what I'm wondering though, even from this cut angle, is if you could have hit this, like you probably still hit it as hard as you did because of the thin cut angle that you left yourself with. But if you were to put some right spin on the ball, I wouldn't be able to tell you how much really, but the idea would be, could you have hit the left side rail, go past the side pockets, past the 8 ball and past the side pocket, hit the right side rail, and kind of just zigzag your way to where you could still shoot the 3 ball into the bottom right corner pocket like you talked about, rather than that.
Yeah, that ain't pretty. Definitely made myself work way harder on the 3 than I wanted.
For sure.
Now I'm gonna have a full table back cut and overcut it.
Almost.
Okay, so the 3 did go by. He must hit that with some high right because the way that cue ball checked up that second rail. See it like that. He did not need that kind of stroke.
Well, let's go back to the 3 ball. And actually take him off camera, go back a little bit more, because again we're watching. I'm judging based off of demeanor and how they actually act or portray themselves at the table, because you overcut this 3 ball slightly, like you almost made it. So here's the issue. Go ahead and let's do a stop right here first, and that is this. We already know he can make the 3 ball, and I mean, heck, from that position he could probably play position for the 4 ball in either of the corner pockets. Really. But here's the thing though, that 5 ball, right? That 5 ball has a very small shape zone.
Yes.
Because the 6 ball's blocking a lot of it. Heck, even the 8 ball's blocking.
I say even the 8 ball's blocking, zone. Yeah.
Right. That shape zone is really small. So what does that mean? That means the shot on the 4 ball becomes very important, because how do you get position on that 4 ball to where you can hopefully, as easy as possible, hit that shape zone on the 5 ball?
Right.
When we watch James walk into the frame of the camera, I don't see that attention to detail. That's why I'm commenting on it, because the shot from the 4 to the 5 becomes very important, which means the shot from the 3 to the 4 becomes very important. because you got to make sure that the cue ball is going to go from the 3 to the 4 to land in such a way to where you can now move from the 4 to the 5 and hit that shape zone. I just didn't see the planning here, and that's why I wanted to comment on that.
Yeah. Backyard Billiards, how you doing, buddy? Thank you for joining. All right, so
notice how he chalks his cue, looks at the shot to see that it passes the 8 and says, oh, there's the 4 ball, and then here we go.
Yeah, it almost looked like he glanced at the 9 just to make sure he knew where the cue ball was not going to crash into it or something. Now he's trying to draw to the side rail. Looks like low right.
Yep.
And no pre-stroke pause, just swing and a whiff. So this should be straight top 2, call it 3 rails for shape.
Nicely done. Nice rolling inside shot. This can be a rolling outside spin shot. So top left.
Yep.
And go 2 rails. 1, 2.
Yeah, most of those shots I hit about right there.
Now that's this one you got a little flat on, so that's no big deal. I expect a bottom left shot here. But the thing is that if you would have gotten a thin cut shot, not too terribly thin, but a thin cut shot instead of a bottom left spin shot, you could do a rolling left spin shot and zigzag your way up to the 7 ball.
Yeah.
But this is fine. This is perfectly fine.
Yeah, and 8 ball's still on the left side of that side pocket, so I should be able to just smooth slide it down the table.
Nicely done.
And he basically said, "You're good." He gave it to me.
I would have made you shoot that. What?
Oh,
you
I
were
know.
behind the 9 ball. You were supposed to shoot that.
But here's the thing: if you're giving it to me, I'm taking it. I'm not.
No, for sure. I get it.
Unless
nice
it's
break.
like an important match where I'm like, no, I want to make sure I make every ball. I'm not trying to fumble the money ball, something like that. But
right.
Okay, so 67-21, 65 at the beginning of the rack. I just need a good breaking run to finish this one off. Doesn't look like a great layout.
Not exactly, since we don't really have decent position on the 1 ball.
Yeah. Let alone a bank combo. And I went.
Oh, you went for it. Okay, I definitely thought you were going to play safe on that one. Oh, that's definitely a checkout stroke.
Yep.
I get it, brother. We've all been there.
I mean, when your opponent's less than a rack and you still need more than 4, I get it, but at that point, it's just minimize the damage.
Right.
Now, this is just league night. It's not like, a postseason tournament that's like, okay, I just got to get as much as I need, but I get it.
Well, I mean, I get being hard on yourself because I'm hard on myself all the time. And so to your comment about it's just the league night. Well, I'm pretty sure James doesn't want to lose.
No.
Right? Nobody wants to lose, right? So there's the difference between, how much pressure are you going to put on yourself to where once you start losing this badly, do you just actually give up?
Right.
Do you try to fight your way to the top? Because like besides having a smashing victory, besides having a smashing victory, there's no greater victory than to have an awesome comeback, right?
Right.
All right, so what happened here, though? We did a nice inside spin shot, went 3 rails around for the 3 ball into the side pocket, but then we get an unfriendly bump and tie the 4 ball up with the 5 ball.
Yeah, even this right here, and I think it's just because I've been drawing everything this match. I don't even hit the side rail. I draw straight to this low head rail with like what would be low with a little bit of left, and it curls into the 4. When in reality, and I know this before you say anything, this is a rolling ball into the side. Go, call it 3 rails for shape into the 4 in the low left. Like, I know this shot.
You can do 3 rails for the 4 in the low left, like you talked about, Or you could have just soft rolled it, one railed off the side rail, and shoot the 4 in the side pocket.
Possibly, yeah. Oh, into the right side or left side?
Yeah, the 4 and the 5 would go into the same side pocket.
Got it. So there I was actually trying, like, I'm up by a lot and I'm still going into safe mode. I was trying to just skim the 4 with straight right and get that cue ball to hit the head rail and then curl back behind the 8 and hook them.
Yep. Nope. You're supposed to. Your opponent's on tilt. There's nothing worse than when your opponent's on tilt is to make him go further on tilt by playing safe. I get it.
Yep.
Oh, hey Chuck, what's going on, man? You said backyard billiards is in the house?
Yep.
That was a great shot.
I'd say that was a decent speed.
Let's see what you do here. Stretched over the table.
Show how short I am.
That was another really well shot. That was shot really well.
Thank you.
That was shot terrible. What is that all about?
All right, I'm waiting for who's the first one in the chat to say same shooter. Goodness. Of all balls, that 9 ball. You make the hard shots, miss the easy.
Miss the easy ones, yep.
Ooh, son of a gun. Now that was a really good pop squat right there.
Yep. Which I'm imagining that's what he was trying to do on his first break that I commented on when his cue ball turned loose and actually went up table.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is give up stroke.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you're in give up stroke though, you can catch a gear and really start catching some points.
And he's not showing it right now, but I'm telling you, James is a great shot. So, and I never count him out.
We're gonna roll this for a 5-9 combo.
No, I think I draw behind the 5 because it's. Yeah,
okay, I want to play the 5 in the side of the corner. I got it. That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, just enough angle to get over there.
And the two game-winning shots right here.
Yep.
And he went ahead and let you have it there. So that's awesome. So I really liked what I saw here overall as far as your performance, but you can still see what I'm talking about because a lot of what I mentioned is what I mentioned previously. So those would be some of the reminders that I think you'd want to make sure that you add to your game. And again, it's up to you whether or not if you want to physically show this stuff on camera, because you record your matches as well. You kind of commentate through your matches for your viewers to actually see. So if you want to be able to illustrate these points of why it's so important to be that specific in your planning. So that way, not only can you have a commanding lead like this, but you can even have a bigger lead. Because on all the shots that you basically faltered on was either just a generic miss, which is going to happen all the time. They're unavoidable for us as amateurs. But then some of those other misses, I think, were just because of lack of planning. And regardless of whether or not if you plan enough, there's still going to be the execution. You can plan all you want, but if your execution just isn't there, then okay, fine. But still, I think in the long run, it'll just serve you better when you have more planning than what you more planning on top of the planning that you did during this match.
Yeah, I agree.
Does anybody in the chat have any questions?
Let's see here. Iggy says, good to see Lil Chris. Always agree with that.
I like Iggy's questions here, saying that you're going to take some of these points that were given, so that's great. To your next practice for sure. You want to know, does the planning phase ever get easier, faster as time goes on? The obvious answer is yes. And it's as simple as anything you practice gets easier. Anything that you practice, you start to do quicker. So the thing is that when you actually try to emphasize and stuff that you're working on, you automatically do it slower, right? So to make sure that you're doing it right, to be thorough. And so by definition, you are going to play slower, but hopefully not to a point to where an opponent's complaining, right?
Yeah.
I certainly wouldn't want to suggest that you start, being so thorough that you're taking like 2 or 3 minutes a shot,
Right.
right? When you're only allowed like a minute. But if you're exhausting the 45 second to, like, I think it's a minute, 45 seconds to a minute, if you're exhausting that every single solitary time, me personally, I'm not going to care. I would say more to it that you should do it. And when your opponent says, hey, could you shoot a little quicker? And you just look at them and go, no, just wait till I miss. Like, that's really what it's going to boil down to. Like, if you're taking 50 seconds a shot and you're not missing a shot and your opponent's complaining that you're taking too long, well, let them complain, because you're still at the table. You're not violating a rule, nothing. You're just, your opponent's trying to get you to play to their preference. And that's not the case. You're going to make them play to your preference, which means they can shoot after you miss, which hopefully you'll be doing less and less.
Now, that is unless you play Ultimate Pool. I got to throw it out there.
Because you do have a shot clock, which is 30 seconds. Which is 30 seconds, though. So if you want to exhaust that, you basically take in, like, 25 seconds a shot. I get it.
Yeah. And 30 seconds, it's funny how many people, when you talk to about it, and like, oh my God, that's not enough time. Like, trust me, it's actually a lot more time than you think. Now, do you have time to walk the entire table and plan everything? No, you don't. You get one 30-second extension to have a full minute on a single shot in a rack. You got to use it sometimes when it's key, but other than that, there are times you just have to think a little bit quicker, get down and fire. But traditionally speaking, yes, slow down, take your time.
So it's from the movie The Hustler. It's one of my favorite lines at the end, when Paul Newman is going on his monologue when he's running his first rack of straight pool to beat Minnesota Fats, and he keeps just talking and talking and talking and talking, and eventually Minnesota Fats just looks at him and goes, "Shoot pool fast, Eddie," and he just looks back at him and says, "I'm shooting pool fast. When I miss, you can shoot." Like, there's no better statement than that.
Right?
So when you're going through your meticulous pre-shot routine, and yes, if you find that it's to a point to where you're playing just like overwhelmingly slow, then you're definitely going to want to try to speed it up to some normal, quote unquote, normal pace. But when you're within the pace of the rules, just keep on rolling, and your opponent can shoot when you miss.
Just keep on rolling and your opponent can shoot when you miss. How's that for an ending? I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know I took a lot away from it and got some notes myself, that's for sure. But do me a favor, guys. If you haven't already, please like this video. Don't forget to subscribe. Comment down below. Let me know what your favorite part was. And stick around, because next video, we're going to get into part 2. We're going to go over some 8-ball. So thank you so much. We'll be back shortly.